Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Galway. Stuck here in the hotel room, but yeah, there's worse places to be than a hotel room. Just before we touch on today's racing and preview day two of the Galway Festival and day one of Goodwood, I just want to touch on the sad news that we heard this morning that the prominent national hunt trainer Edward O'Grady passed away this morning. And my thoughts are with the O'Grady family. He was a legend of racing, one of those names that you grew up knowing about when you wouldn't even know anything about racing and the things he'd done in the game. But when it was unfathomable, yeah, he was winning in Cheltenham when other trainers were only dreaming about going over there. So he was a gentleman to say the least, and he'll be sorely missed in the racing community and the wider community. So, R.I.P. Edward O'Grady, and we're going to kick straight on to day one. We've seen some fantastic racing today. Now, a lot of our selections didn't run hectic, to say the least, but sure, look, it is what it is, and we had some big ones in there, some dreamers. We kicked off the first race with the novice hurdle. Davy Crockett, I said, look, I wasn't getting stuck into an odds-on shot, but done what I said he would on the tin. Continues the family tradition by winning second son now of Annie Power winning in the colours of JP McManus and Willie Mullins, Mark Walsh 1-2, and the world is the racer for now for this youngster, I think. Then we went to the second race on the card. It was a handicap hurdle over 2 miles, and Jessica Harrington teamed up here, done a miler with J.R. Arry at 10-1, beating Pugler herself by 4 lengths. Then the maiden on the card, 1-5. I said last night that this was a good thing. He was 1-2 last night. That they absolutely smashed him up. I just couldn't see how it was beat. And I actually gave him mention to the horse that ran him home in second. He needed to run. As I said, around Galway, Spangle Sands. He done a lot of nice late work, and he would be interested to see where he goes in the very prominent colours, as I said, as Bronson Racing, who could have a big week at Galway. And he looks like a nice type after filling up the runner-up spot. The winner looks nice, big, fine, big horse in the hands of Wayne Lorden was Constitution River. Then went to the feature race of day one, and Emmett Mullins combined here with owner JP McManus with Filey Bay. But this was a very poignant winner. Young Alan O'Sullivan, who lost his brother Michael in February at fall in Thurles. And you could see what it meant him passing the line. He was looking to the skies, and as he said in his race interview after, which is a very it must have been a very hard thing for him to do, but he spoke so well and elegantly, and he was saying somebody was looking down on him, and we all knew who was looking down on him. The passage he got through, and this young man has been riding some winners since the last couple of months, and he's really performing on the track. He's riding like a man possessed, and he definitely has a spirit on his shoulder with Michael. So Alan O'Sullivan is definitely a name to take note of, and it was great to see him winning one of the big amateur races of the year, the Connacht Hotel Qualified Riders. It's a great stepping stone for a lot of young riders, especially any of the amateurs to win this. It's like one of their prestigious races of the year, and to win this is a real feather in his cap, and it also springboards down some great jockeys down through the years from turning over. Then we went and we seen local man David Lucknan, who's applying his trade in the UK, come back over and bring one over. It's never just one, winning a 12-1, Decky McDonough in the saddle. Then Paddy Hartnett, a young jockey who has had a very quiet start to the season, but a very good rider. And in the last week, 5 days, I'd say he's rode 3 winners. And Donny O'Brien, he gave this horse a cracking ride, Kilmead, and he held on by a neck, beating Stafford back in second in the hands of Chris Hayes, who's arguably one of the top jockeys in the of Irish racing, not only this season, but in the last decade or so. And he gave this one a very smart, intelligent ride, and then he didn't panic and was strong in the finish. So Paddy Hartnett, giving the ammunition, that man can get one over the line, and it's great to see because he's a real nice guy, and be hopeful like he can kick on from here. Very much well worth his lane. Then we seen a very nice performance here in the last race. It was the bumper, 2 miles. Andy Slattery combined with Alan Ryan, who's a cracking rider as an amateur, Alan Ryan, and he's really applying his trade. I must actually check his strike rate, Alan Ryan. I'd say he's had a lot more winners than he has had rides in the last few weeks. I'm just trying to see can I get his stats there in the last couple of weeks, but yeah, he's a jockey that's well worth. He's he's yeah, he's £7 for that young rider is it's worth its weight in gold. But this looks a very useful type, Gomez Adams. Then we're going to kick straight on to day two of the festival. Super competitive card again. Kicking off with a very nice novice listed race here, 2 miles, 4-year-old plus here hurdle. This is some real nice top young prospects coming up here. Winnie Mullins farm and the entries here. He's got 3 of the 8 runners. Couple of nice types. Vicar Street, another one from the Rich Richie Yard. Well, it runs with JP McManus and John Magner colours, but out of Vroom Vroom Mag, Galileo, Gelded son of Galileo, he's at 9-1. One around Roscommon in the hands of Anna McGuinness, who took that couple of weeks' grace of when a lot of younger riders were taking their opportunities. She grabbed it with both hands, and she rode a nice race in Roscommon to see this lad win his maiden hurdle. Very impressive that day. The favourite though is Willie Mullins' other runner. Paul Townend takes the mount, La Note Verte, and I'm super impressed with this filly by Australia. She won a bumper around Listowel, played with him, but then went to Listowel to win its maiden hurdle over the trip, beating 18 runners by 5 lengths and trounced them, and then went to Roscommon and absolutely hacked up, beat Fairbanks, who I tipped to run well and did run well for a long way in the qualified riders race. Probably ended up finishing middle of the pack, but won by 12 lengths with her head in his chest. I think this could be special in Norte Verde. I think they'll get the job done. One I can see running at a price at 16-1 is Emily Love. Where's her seal? And I've seen her winning below in Killarney for, I think it was the 5th time in a row. Sam Ewing takes the ride. So I'm going to go Emily Love each way, but Lannotte Verdi for the win in race 1. But it's a nice race to look at now, just to watch. There's some nice types in that race. Then we're going to go to a beginner steeplechase, and King of Kingsfield is a very warm favourite here. We've twice placed in grade 1s over hurdles. But I'm going to go with one here each way. Jet Set and Jim, I think his form, if you read between the lines here, could definitely run into the frame. JJ Slevin, John Quealy, trains, and yeah, I think he might run into the frame here. Not going to spend too much long. I went through the form. It's late here. I want to get this out. So Jet Set and Jim for me each way at 10-1. Take on the favourite King of Kingsfield. Then we're going to go to the maiden. 7 furlongs for 2-year-olds. 8 runners declared. 2 kind of here giant at the minute, 13-8, 5-4 with the Aidan O'Brien runner, but I'm going to side with Jesse's runner here, who had a winner today over hurdles. Then and now, Dubowie filly out of Albinga, who was a Group 1 winner in France for the team in the colours, and Shane Foley rode her as well. I thought she made a really nice, encouraging debut in Leopardstown, a really nice debut indeed, where actually it beat the favourite by a length and a quarter. Paddy Toomey's runner, Phenomenal filly, won that day, and he has one with the same connections here, Black Caviar Gold. Look, as I said, I'm a strong believer that it takes something special to win one first time out here. It'd have to be super special to beat one of the 2 of these first time out. Paddy did do it though 2 years ago with Purple Lily. But I'm just going to side with Den and now. I think, look, you need a run, and if you win here without a run, you're definitely talking black type kind of a horse or filly. So yeah, I'm going to go with Den and now. I think at 13-8 gets my vote in the 3rd race. Then we're going to go to the feature race, the Colin Quinn BMW Mile Handicap, as I still call it, the McDonough Handicap. This is a race down through the years, folklore kind of race. You know, all your top end jockeys, your top end trainers have won this race, and then it's springboarded a lot of claimers as well. You know, I remember Colin Keane winning a £5 claimer or apprentice. It really set him on the scene. You know, Gavin Ryan back a couple of years ago winning it as well, and he could have had a host of winners that year. And look, he's went on to win Group Ones for Donegal O'Brien since, and being second Derby for Aidan O'Brien. It's a springboard type of race, these Galway festivals, and it can change a jockey's career for the good. But I like one here, the old boy, well, not old boy, 7-year-old now, Dunham. I think the race revolves around this lad. I think if he comes back to form, which he does so around Galway, I think he's run 3 times at the festival, has won twice and was third, only beating a length on the other occasion. Nat Lupini's runner, Dunham, 7-year-old, back down to 93. Shamey, big money Shamey, as Branbury calls him, big money hef. Drawn lovely in 2, absolutely ideally drawn. So Dunham for me at 8-1. I think it's massive odds at 8-1, being honest with you. I know there's a couple of more fancied ones there on form and yards and whatnot, but I just think Dunham for me has all the attributes, horses for courses, and could be bang there to win the mile here. So for me, Dunham, very sweet in Dunham. In fact, I didn't even know if I was going to put out a preview a bit of under the weather, but Dunham was my main fancy, and I just had to put it out there. Then we're going to go to the 7 furlong maiden. Interesting contest. I have no selection in the race. Going to leave that one go. Penultimate race on the card is a 7 furlong handicap. And there is one I like here, Flying Bay. Andrew Caniron's runner, Ben Cohen, takes the mount. Nice bit of course form. And I think he's back. He should be. The draw on 16 is not ideal, but I think if this lad can get a couple of lucky breaks, Ben Cohen, cracking rider, I think should run very well at a price, is Flying Bay. He gets my vote in the penultimate race. In the final race on the card is a 4-year-old plus handicap over a mile. The one that catches my eye is Connor the Wires runner, Lady Arwen, back down to 67. Has run well at the track. 6-year-old filly, if she's sweet and well in herself here. Jack Leary, a very capable rider, takes a valuable 5 off 9.11 to bring it back down to 9, or takes 5 off it to bring it down to 9.6. I think if she's well in herself here, she's drawn 14 again and gets to run around, I think she'll definitely fill the frame. So she gets my vote in the last race. That concludes Galway's day 1 or day 2. Then we're going to just take a quick look at Glorious Goodwood day 1. Glorious Goodwood, lads. Galway and Goodwood, two of the festivals on the same week. It's absolutely fantastic stuff. We kick off the card at 120, a mile 1 handicap. There's 18 runners declared, 14 runners. The winner of this race, I tipped it last year, was Take Heart, and runs again with David Minucci taking over from Johnny Murta, a 5-year-old gelded son of Dark Angel. Kieran Schumer, cracking rider. It's back down to the same 95 mark as it was last year, at 14-1. I think she or he's poised to definitely fill the frame at 14-1, and I'm very sweet each way on Dark Take Heart in the first race at Glorious Goodwood. The second race on the card, I'm kicking through these because it's very late, as I said, and look, I've the homework done. The Vintage Stakes, Group 2 over 7, 10 runners declared here. We have a short one with Dorset at 15-8, who's going to take a bit of whacking. But for me, Humidity, Andrew Balling's runner with James Doyle here, and you know how big of a fan I am of James Doyle for the last 10 years. I am. See him winning the Chesham at Royal Ascot a month ago there, beating the Secret Adversary by a length. I just think 9-2, 5-1, you could have a little each way play on that, and still you'd be hopeful. Like, I can't see him being on the first 3, being honest with you. So I'm going to side with Humidity in the second race. Then we're going to go to the Lennox Stakes, the Group 2 for 7-year-olds, 7-year-olds for over 7 for 3-year-olds plus 12 runners declared here. One that catches my eye at a price is Iberian for Charlie Hills and that young kid, Billy the Kid. Billy Ducknan takes the mount here, 20-1. Very sweet in this lad's chances each way at 20-1. Iberian, that is in the Lennox Stakes. Then we're going to kick straight to the feature race. It is the Alcha Kebab Goodwood Cup, a Group 1 contest over 2 miles. 8 runners declared here. The Royal Ascot Gold Cup, second Illinois turns up here. Very warm favour, 11-10 for Aidan O'Brien, Ryan Moore. We've no Trawlerman obviously in the race. He's going to go to York. The other one that is very short on the betting is Scandinavia. For Aidan O'Brien, I just think Illinois they all have to beat him really. I think he's beaten them all. Apart from Trawlerman, who didn't turn up here. French Master could run all right for John Gosden. But for me, Illinois, I think I was sweetening him in Ascot. We got annihilated by Trawlerman, but look, Trawlerman is a very special type. And I just think Illinois here at 11 to 10 gets the job done in the hands of Ryan Moore. I think sorry, I have one more, then I'm going to preview the race. After that, it is the Shakir handicap, 22 runners declared, over 5. One that I can see bouncing back here for Robert Cowell, Shawnee Levy in the saddle, Democracy Dilemma. If I could even read it this hour, then it'd be interesting. This 5-year-old girl, the son of Cut High Glory, I think that if he comes back here to form at the price at 16 to 1, Shawnee Levy taking the mount, I think can run a very, very good race here at 16 to 1. That concludes my Galway preview for day 2 and my Goodwood day 1 preview. As I said, we touched on the top of the show the sad passing of Edward O'Grady and their thoughts about the O'Grady family, and also how much of an emotional day it was for Alan O'Sullivan winning the feature race and one of the feature amateur races of the year for riders. So it was great to see. He's obviously it's not been an easy time, but you could see by him that he knew that there was something special down him today, and it was great. Look, there is some good stories with racing, so it's great to see it. Probably drifting on here. It's very late at night, but again, a lot of positivity here on the very first day of sharing and liking the video out. So please do it. It helps me big time. And we'll see you again very soon. I've actually done a special preview tomorrow with James Brennan from the Horse's Mouth. And we have very special guests of Paddy O'Hanlon on the page as well. So that'll be, and we're going to do the plate and the hurdle, two of them in one preview. So that concludes tonight's action. It's late. I'm going to get 4 or 5 hours sleep. Good night. God bless.